one of our sponsors or partners for this event, right? Yeah. And they gave out the gifts for the Kahoots game we played earlier on. We have a representative from Resolute Robotics South Africa. Please, a round of applause as we welcome Kamo. Please put those hands together for Kamo.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? Good, good, good. Okay, that's the general audience. So last night we were at a dinner, and there were delegates. So there's a different type of greeting. So if I'm correct, President, how are you, sir? I pay my respects. I pay my respects to all of the delegates here today. Hopefully I haven't disrespected anyone. So I'm still learning the culture. One of my friends earlier was telling me, okay, so my name is Kamo. Let me start there. My name is Kamo. And I work for Resolute Education. And we're a company from South Africa that's trying to revolutionize education through the lens of coding and robotics. So my name is Kamo. My friend was telling me that in a Nigerian language, because Kamo means welcome or acceptance in my native tongue back at home, over here, welcome would be ekabo. Is that true? Is that, yeah, okay. That's my new name. Don't even call me Kamo now. Don't even call me that now. Okay. So, before we get into what, Resolute likes to start with why. We believe that your why will sustain you through the ups and the downs of your time. And so, at Resolute, we encourage our employees, all the members of the team, to have their own why when they step into work. My why is that I want to make an impact in South Africa with regards to education for our kids, and hopefully in the rest of Africa. I spend a lot of my time as a civil engineer, and the barriers that I ran into when I was on site was that the impact that I wanted to make would only be felt years after my project. I would build up the structure with the rest of the team, but then I would have to leave to the next place. And the next team would come in, and your electrical engineers, your surveyors would come in, and only years later would I get to see the impact that I wanted. And that's when I ran into Resolute, because now I get to stand at the forefront of effective change a bit sooner for kids in South Africa. And we need to revolutionize the way that we teach, especially when we look at robotics and coding. So our vision, we strive to promote a learning environment that is creative, challenging, and interactive. We aim to encourage students to explore an electronic and computer engineering environment to further encourage their logical thinking skills and provide opportunities for them to learn and gain valuable industry-relevant skills. At Resolute, we want to bridge the gap between high school learning and when you get into your tertiary, your sciences. There's such a huge jump for the kids from when you finish in matric or whenever you finish school in Nigeria to when you're going to college. And we want to bridge that gap. Okay. The World Economic Forum constantly releases lists of requirements, skill requirements, and there's 4 of them that are very important for your students to thrive in the workplace, namely being problem solving, creativity, critical thinking, and teamwork. So robotics is such a broad term that encompasses so much of what we learn about electronics. So at Resolute Education, we have condensed it down into 3 distinct categories, namely being engineering, computer sciences, and data sciences. So the great privilege that we have as a company is that we're made up of half engineers and half educators. And we're able to come through with curriculum that will take the child from foundation phase, moving from simple block-based coding into text-based coding, and then eventually programming languages that they will be able to use in the workplace. We want to make our kids more employable when they jump out of school. But what good is learning if it's only from a textbook? We're in the 21st century. Right now, we need project-based learning. There's no point in telling a kid about an infrared type sensor from a book. They need to see the toy. They're more likely to go home and say, Mommy and Daddy, I saw this toy, and it actually measures distance, and I can control it, and I can tell it what to do. The learning outcomes are so much better. So moving from toy-based learning, essentially a toy, we progress with the kids to what we call, in the senior phase, building from first principles, using raw components. If you take out your phone right now, and you had to crack it open, what you would see inside are some of the same parts that you see in your laptop, in your TV, maybe even in the ceiling up top. And what we want to do at Resolute is show these students that these aren't just magic boxes where they click and something happens. They themselves have the capability of making such equipment, of making something new for the world, and hopefully for Africa, and hopefully for Nigeria. So, that is the aim, to demystify coding and robotics. We want to demystify it. We want to equip our students with industry-relevant skills, and ultimately, we want to make them more employable. So at Resolute, we like to give a wholesome offering to schools. And so we have a 5-part service offering that I'd like to take you through today. The first being our user-friendly online platform, where all of our content is video-based learning. As I was saying earlier, we don't want to throw a textbook in front of the kid and say, read 1,000 pages about coding, and then you'll become a coder. All of our content, over 480 hours of it, will be through video, where they'll be interacting with the educator. The second being our easy-to-assemble robotics kits that are reusable, and they're very shareable too, that are provided by Resolute Education. There needs to be some sort of hands-on training to further cement what the kids are learning in the classroom. And as great as these platforms are, perfect, is nothing compared to the hard work that has gone into our curriculum, into our teacher training, and into our technical support. When we're looking at the curriculum, we've provided curriculum from when your kid starts in school all the way until they finish. And this alleviates so much pressure from the teachers because they don't have to set their own exams or lesson plans. All of it is set out for them. All they need to do is guide the children through the curriculum. Speaking of your teachers, we have our training where they will learn the fundamentals of each course, and they'll be able to identify and solve problems. So they won't come out looking like Elon Musk, but they'll have a good understanding and able to guide the kids if they come across any problems. And even then, we have our technical support year out, where if they run into problems, we are a WhatsApp away, we are a Google Meet away. And the point of all of this is that we want to feel like an extended member of the school, because we do not want to leave you alone in this journey. When you talk about robotics and coding, it can be very scary. People are like, I don't know what this is. I'm a teacher, I've been doing English. I haven't even touched the laptop. But that's why we are here, to guide you through that. And in the teacher training, you don't need any prior knowledge to robotics and coding. We are here to guide you. So, looking at the streams that we're going to be getting into, you'll be pleased to know that in Nigeria, we'll be launching 3 main streams: the novice, the apprentice, and the advanced, all symbolizing foundation phase, intermediate phase, and advanced phase. So when we're looking at the novice, for the younger ones, we start to teach them a bit of computational thinking like a robot, being able to communicate with one, where they'll be introduced a little bit onto the Scratch platform, understanding block-based coding. And now your teachers will also receive computational thinking skills, so they don't have to make their own lessons. They have them at their disposal, and they guide the kids through. From there, we move on to the apprentice, where your kids are growing in their Scratch storytelling, but now we move on to our microbits, where they will jump onto the Make Code platform, and as they go, they grow through an exponential learning curve, where as they progress, more of the material gets harder and challenging, but they're understanding the fundamentals. And then we move on to the advanced phase, where now, moving on from block-based coding, your students are getting into text-based coding. One of the big questions that we are asked by many people are like, what if my child or my student is in grade 6 or grade 7? Are they supposed to start all the way from the beginning, from novice? The answer is no. We have a fundamentals course that will catch them up, because at Resolute, we never want to leave any child behind. And it's at this point where they will begin engaging in building from first principles, where they'll be building up their own projects now and jumping into game development. So for kids, it might be like robotics and coding, what is that? And if you can tell them, if you learn this, one day you'll be able to build your own FIFA game or your own boxing game. All of a sudden now it's like, maybe this can open up some opportunities for me. So a brief summary in terms of what we're launching here for Resolute Nigeria is the novice at the foundation phase, the apprentice in your intermediary phase, and advanced at the senior level. Implementation at schools, we operate on all 3 levels. So we implement whether it's in curriculum, or an extramural club, or on the online academy. There's no hindrance for how we can implement. So, we've gotten into the what about what, the what about why, the what about why about what. But then for you, as a principal, as a teacher, as a student, as a parent, what's in it for you? Why should you support Resolute at your school? For our principals, you have an opportunity to jump into a project that is based on future-focused subjects. Your school will be up with technological trends and embrace the new educational landscape, and you'll be opening up an environment for potential learners. For our teachers, it's so important for Resolute that you have all the material that you need to be able to guide your students through the course. And we have teacher training at all phases, regardless of prior knowledge. We have project-based learning. You can go back to the teacher slide. And we have project-based learning so that at the beginning of each quarter, there's actually a goal for your students to reach as they learn. And we have a teacher dashboard so that you can manage and be able to monitor your class's progress. You'll be able to see which kid is falling behind, which student is going ahead, and you'll be able to adjust accordingly. Our parents, at the end of the day, you have the kids, yes, but they go home to whoever takes care of them. Getting buy-in from the parents is so important, because if all they see is just, oh, you're just playing with toys here, what's going on? It's going to hinder the progress of the kid. And so for the parents, it's so important, because now you engage in a future-focused and industry-relevant technological skills. You'll be assisting your kid in opening their eyes to seeing how the opportunities will open up for them once they jump out of high school. And of course, our students. We do it all for the students. And so the students will be engaging in practical-based learning, where they'll have projects at the end of the quarter. They'll be exposed to the fundamentals of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and software engineering before they even leave school. And this is how we bridge the gap. And they'll be exposed to a foundational skill set in coding that will serve them even if they do not decide to pursue a career in technology. And so if you are interested in partnering with Resolute, I'll be at the back with my teammate Jonathan, and we'll be more than happy to discuss proceeding forward with you. And this is the team, as you can see. This is the team in South Africa who are working so hard to develop curriculum. But don't tell them I said this. Forget them. Look at that. That's the one you must remember there. That's me. That's Ekabu. That's Ekabu right there. And then, of course, we understand that trying to change Africa, you cannot do it on your own. You cannot do it on your own. And so we're so thankful to our partners, and especially Edves, for giving us this opportunity to interact with all of you. I've already met some of you at the back. It's been amazing. Thank you for being so hospitable, and we hope this relationship can continue to grow. And so that's a thank you from me. We also, just on a quick note, we are running a promotion. So we'll be able to speak to you at the back about it, where we're inviting the principals and decision makers to a breakfast where we can dive a bit deeper into robotics and coding. And the first 50 schools to join up on our pilot program will get free teacher training and 50% off of all the bots, because we're so passionate about coming to Nigeria and making a real change. Thank you so much.
Ladies